What did the salad say to each other on its honeymoon? Let us alone without dressing. What up, guys, and welcome back to the FitMenCook kitchen. So for today's video, I got a quickie for you for meal prep. We're gonna be making a sweet and spicy beef dish. It's very saucy, very aromatic, along with some sugar snap peas and a very special ingredient, Radicchio. I'm bringing this up now because last week I was in Utah for the Red Bull 400 race, and we went out to eat at this wonderful restaurant. It's called Five Seeds, and they brought this Radicchio salad. And the guys with me, they didn't really know what Radicchio was, and I was telling them this is not cabbage, but it's got a very distinct flavor. And this just reminded me of the importance of stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new. Most grocery stores have this. You may mistake it for a red or some purple cabbage, but the taste is definitely distinct, and it's not as, I guess, suave and crisp and fresh as cabbage. It's very bitter, so it kind of reminds me a lot of arugula. A lot of people, when they first bite into it, they don't really like arugula in the very beginning because it's very pungent and very bitter. Radicchio, it has that same property. It is very pungent, very, very bitter, but it actually pairs well in salads. You can eat this raw, but personally, I like to saute it, cook it up just a little bit to reduce some of the bite of that pungent flavor. Also, a really cool thing about Radicchio is that it has aphrodisiac properties. So, you know, you can eat some Radicchio and get your little... That was pretty bad, right? That was PG-13? Terrible. Anyway, let's get started with today's recipe. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is prepare the sauce. We're gonna mix in a little bit of low sodium soy sauce, a little bit of water, gonna spice it up with some fresh ginger. Gonna pour in some fragrance with sesame oil, crank up the heat with some sriracha, and I think that this needs to be a little bit hotter, so I'm gonna add in some crushed red pepper. For the sweet element, we're gonna add in some coconut sugar. Now, instead of adding in copious amounts of sugar, I like to add in fresh fruit. Squeeze in some fresh orange juice. This is gonna give it a really nice citrus flavor. It's gonna liven it up and lighten the sauce a little bit. It's gonna combat some of that spiciness. Now you can season to taste with the other ingredients here until you get it just right for you, but be careful about adding in things that will add a lot more calories, such as the sesame oil and the coconut sugar. Last thing we're gonna add in is the arrowroot, but we're gonna add that in right before we add it into the skillet, so I'm gonna set this aside for right now. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is prep our veggies. We are going to dry roast these sugar snap peas. I like doing that because it almost gives it like a stone oven type of flavor to it, and it blisters them really well. It gives it a really nice char on there. Toss in these sugar snap peas. When you dry roast things, you're probably going to smell them a lot faster. This has only been in there for a few seconds. I'm gonna show you how fast they blister and get dark. And here's a pro tip: if you're really wanting to boost the flavors here, you can actually add in some white onion or some red or some yellow onion to this and dry roast them together, and oh my gosh, your kitchen will smell incredible. And get really close. I want to show you all this. Is that you see how it's beginning to glisten? There's so much moisture here because, again, we're cooking it in its own juices. Remove these from the skillet, almost like they're fire roasted, right? Set the skillet back on the heat, and then we're going to prep the Radicchio. So I'm going to peel off just the outer part of it. I like just to keep mine kind of simple. Usually you can just kind of cut this into fourths, and you can actually cook them like this as wedges. I'm going to chop these. I'm going to just chop these into smaller pieces. I'm gonna eventually mix everything together. Okay. We're gonna keep our heat on high, reduce the heat just a bit, but it's still on high heat. Spray it with a little bit of oil, and we're going to immediately toss in the Radicchio. Doesn't take long to wilt Radicchio, so we don't need to cook it for too long. I'm just doing this to take away some of the bite of Radicchio because, again, it's super bitter and pungent, just like arugula, but more so. And if you want, this is optional, I like to add in a little bit of lemon juice sometimes. Just gonna lightly braise it for a couple minutes. Set the skillet back on the heat. We're gonna wipe it clean as much as possible. It's still really hot, so be careful. Now we're gonna add in the beef. This is our beef flank steak. Spread this out here and just let this sear. Cook beef to your desired readiness. I always like mine medium rare. Whenever I do stuff for meal prep though, I cook it just a little bit more just for food safety purposes. It's still pretty aromatic, but just, you know, the differences between dry roasting something and having some oil in the skillet That's all I really wanted to do, was just get that nice char on there. Pretty lean, so it doesn't take that long to cook, but I'm gonna drain this anyway. Put this back on the heat after we're draining it. With our sauce, we're gonna add in the arrowroot. Give this a quick stir. I'm gonna make a hole here in the skillet because we're gonna pour in the sauce. And it's gonna thicken right away as soon as the heat hits it. So we're gonna take it off the skillet and let it thicken up and then continually stir. Yeah, look how nice and saucy that is. Beautiful. Beautiful, that's what we want. Look at that nice, sticky, saucy beef. Garnish with some fresh green onions. Now we're gonna bring it all together for meal prep. So got some brown rice here. Grab your meal prep container. Add some brown rice. Some of the radicchio. Then our sweet and spicy beef. Yeah! Who wants this for meal prep? I know I do. This looks amazing. Some orange there in case you need some more flavor. It's just that easy. All right, guys, that is it for today's meal prep video. As you can see, it was very easy. We've got a sweet and spicy beef dish. I know that you're gonna enjoy this meal prep, guys. I want you all to comment below how you would customize this dish for you. And also let us know below what is your favorite food to pair radicchio with, so that way it is enjoyable. Remember, you can get this entire meal prep and all the recipes and macronutrient breakdown from this video from FitMenCook.com. So click the link below to go and do that. Also, you can follow me on social for daily inspiration. I'm always sharing my meals and my travels and anything else that kind of comes to mind about this healthy, fit lifestyle. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, I want y'all to keep it healthy, but of course, never ever boring. Ooh! Bye, guys.